Good evening, my fellow travelers on Spaceship Earth. It is and I am Guy. And I'm coming to you live from Applewood Station, where it's actually rather nice outside. It's at 13 degrees Celsius. It's a lovely, lovely temperature. I'm only on here for a few minutes because I have actually like 4 tests going on all of a sudden. It just got test heavy. Everything got, and so I'm only here for a minute or two because I got to get back to my tests. The test that I took yesterday, I misunderstood some of the information on it and did it wrong. Luckily, she's going to let me take it again, but I've got to take it tonight and finish it tonight. So, that's just a mess. Hey, Yap, how you doing? So, yeah, as I was just saying, I took a test last night for one of my classes, and I read the instructions on the test wrong. So, yeah, thanks. So we'll have to figure out what to do about some of this stuff here. I took another test and got 9 out of 12 questions right. Which makes it 75%. Anyway, well, I'm glad. And I'm glad you're doing good tonight. So I can't stay on for very long tonight because these tests have to be done. And they have to be done by 11:59, apparently, not by midnight. Modern college is fascinating. Like, really a completely different universe than the last time I was in college. The last time I was in college, it was the early 2000s, and like you could do the stuff online. The test was, I had 2 tests. One was for applied anthropology, and the other one is my Japanese test, which I had to take. And the problem I'm having with my Japanese class is that I speak Japanese. I just don't speak it well. I speak like Yoda. But I can certainly communicate just fine and everything's well. And so this is all completely structured now. But my teacher is using all those words. Like, we're learning volitional verbs. So since we're learning volitional verbs, I need you to be able to position this structure it in such that the main clause is in the present tense, but the subordinate clause is in the past tense. And it's like, I just speak the language. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think about whether the subordinate clause is in the main clause's past tense. And so it's like, I don't think about stuff like that. And so it's so hard because, like, even right now we're doing grammar points and I know the grammar. I know what this grammar point is. I know instinctively what she's talking about. But then the questions in the test the questions are, write a sentence in which the primary clause is in past tense and the subordinate clause is in present tense using this particular grammar point. And I'm like, I don't even know what we're talking about, But it's like if I were to ask you in whatever native tongue you speak, I'm not going to presume you speak English natively, but even if I were, let's just say English and say, look, I just want you to compose me a sentence real quick using when, and I want the subordinate clause to be in the past tense and the main clause to be in the present tense. I mean, this is your native language and you can't say that unless you're an English major. And so I'm having a real hard time with this because my brain isn't translating it. You know what I mean? My brain won't. But if she just said, you know, translate this sentence into Japanese, when I go to the store, I buy milk. You know, if she did that, I'd be like, oh, okay, it's easy. Yeah, I have problems like that. Oh, Mandarin. Look at that. Yeah, but Mandarin, you've got the same problem I do because, oh boy, do we have all those characters that we have to learn. Ooh, doggy. At least if you know how to spell the characters, they become a whole lot easier. So, no. But yeah. That's all right. I was gonna learn Mandarin, but now I'm like questioning whether I should learn Mandarin, Cantonese, and Hangul. Yeah, there's so many characters, and nobody understands unless you start. Like you and me, we both are studying it, and now you're like, there's so many characters. This is painful. I have no idea how the grammar works in Chinese either. In Japanese, they use a phonographic language too. So Chinese is considered what we call an ideographic language, which means that the characters have meaning. So instead of a phonographic language, which each character represents a phonograph or a phonic, or a morphonic, but either way, it represents a sound. Instead, in Chinese, they're ideographics, so they're like hieroglyphs. Yeah, but Chinese doesn't use all 50,000. Even Japanese doesn't use, well, Japanese uses far less than Chinese does. I think you can be functional in Chinese with 5,000. 5,000 to 9,000, I think, is the functional. And especially now they're simplifying it. So there's new waves of it where it's markedly simpler. It's harder if you need to learn. Oh, excuse me. If you need to learn Chinese from, say, 100 years ago, that would be far, far worse. Simplified Chinese at least is helping. But the Japanese have not taken the simplified Chinese characters. So we're still using the old ones, the older characters over on our side of the pond. So that's just rough. So, but I wish you all the luck in the world. According to the U.S. U.S. State Department, Chinese, Japanese, and Korean and Arabic are what we call level 4 languages from English, which means if you're an English speaker, they are the hardest languages to learn. See you later, my friend. I'm going to bow out here too. So I will talk to you all later. And I will go on ahead and bow out, and you can bow out, and I will see you later. Good luck, my friend. And everybody else, I'm also going to bow out and go ahead and try to hit my head one more time on that other test. Try to give it another shot. So I hope to see you all later, and have a good evening. And as always, keep your eyes on the stars. Good night.